Suzanne. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Hello and welcome to another fabulous edition of C2C Rankem. I am the host, Big B, and brought to you by, or alongside me, not brought to you by, but alongside me is my prime moose, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited when you brought these lists up. I thought it was a really good idea.
Yes, and the list we're talking about, of course, within the next few weeks, MLB will start with the regular season. As you know, it's baseball time. So if you're down in the Florida, Arizona area, you get to watch some nice baseball. So spring training starts. World Baseball Classic starts next week, I think it is, or something like that. So
I think so.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some couple or about 6 topics. If we got time, we'll do a 7th baseball topic. We kind of talked about a little bit, but let's get into it. Let's start with our Hall of Famers. So Hall of Fame inductions or nominees came out a couple weeks ago, I think, or January. Let's talk about the guys who should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't. We're excluding Pete Rose because I think both of us agree that Pete Rose should be in, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. So you're number 5 on the guy who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not.
Well, you're going to love me right off the top because I'm going to steal your thunder.
Uh-oh.
I'm taking Jack Morris. Ooh. To me, I think Jack Morris should be in the Hall of Fame. What he's done postseason, regular season, I think how the writers keep missing this man is incredibly odd. He's done so much for both the Tigers and the Twins. I think how he keeps missing. I think he gets in eventually. I think he gets in.
You're 2 years too late on that one, buddy.
Really?
Yeah, 2018 he got in.
Oh, for the love of okay. Well, then let me.
I started to blow your thunder, but he should have got in way earlier.
I'm starting to wonder about the rest of my list at this point.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm glad he got in. If not him, I still don't. Dale Murphy was for the Braves.
Yep. I don't know. He's not in.
I still don't understand. And there's a guy in Gainesville who's a big Atlanta Braves fan, and every time we have this conversation about people who aren't in the Hall of Fame, it comes up to Dale Murphy comes up every single time.
Yep. Every single time. Yep. Did not mean to, because I thought about. I did not even look because I was pretty sure Jack Morris was in the Hall of Fame.
What makes me worry about my second one at this point?
Might have to do some quick thinking there.
Yeah, I'm
for me, number 5. I believe he played most of his years with Boston. Came to the Twins in '87. But it just seems like over his longevity, he was like the creator of the DH rule in the major leagues. Because I don't recall him playing any position besides DH. I mean, he might have played first or something. But Don Baylor, I think, should be in the Hall of Fame. Not overwhelming stats, but it seemed like every time the trade deadline came up that I can recall, Don Baylor got moved because he always had that steady bat, consistent bat. So your number 4.
I'm starting to think all my list is shot.
Yeah.
I've got one. I know that Edgar Martinez isn't in the Hall of Fame that I know of. This is the guy that was in Seattle that was the DH.
Yep.
That basically should benefit. To be honest, this man should benefit for David Ortiz going into the Hall of Fame. Because Edgar Martinez was they built between him and Ken Griffey Jr. I think they built that team around that whole organization was built around. I think he was a member of up until last year, the team that had the most wins in regular season. But the numbers that Edgar Martinez had is absolutely. It's a shock that he's not in.
No, that like you said, that should be the stepping stone. Once Ortiz got in.
Okay, my number 1 and 2 are both shot because they went in the same year. I'm starting to not believe half the stuff that is on the internet anymore.
That's not good because, that's not good when Google's our friend and
Google screwed me.
Yeah, you are halfway around the world, so it might be coming.
Yeah.
Martinez was in 2019.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this is at this point, this is so fun.
All right. So my number 5. So I'm guessing we might have the same number 1.
No.
Okay.
No. But it might get there.
So my number 4, as much as I hate the team that he played on, the guy, I'm not going to say lights out because he was pretty hittable, but Andy Pettit, as a lefty, for the Yankees, I mean, he was part of those teams that were in the playoff hunt every year. 250 wins. I know it's not the magical 300, but I think Pettit should get in. Hopefully soon. So you're number 3.
Okay, my number 3.
List already.
My list is completely blown up, except for one player because I put 2 players on for number 3 because if you didn't have one, you didn't have the other.
Okay.
And I put Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker, and I knew Lou Whitaker's not on the list, is not in the Hall. Alan Trammell, I think, went in either last year. Now I'm thinking about it. Either went in last year.
I don't think Trammell's went in.
Really?
But anyway, so yeah, Lou Whitaker.
But Lou Whitaker, I'm like, how is this guy not in? Probably one of the best second basemen to ever play the game, and he's literally not on the list. It's not in the Hall. It's unbelievable. He's in, isn't he? Don't tell me Lou Whitaker's in because I know he's not.
Oh no. Okay.
Alan Trammell is though.
Oh, they put Trammell and Morris together. I'm just like, what? But yeah, because I was going to say Lou Whitaker is in, but no, he is not.
Alan Trammell is though.
Yeah, Trammell is.
Yeah.
2017.
Okay. Yeah. Whitaker. To me, it's those pair. It's like you. How do you not put Lou Whitaker in and everything?
And he's even getting snubbed now by the Veterans Committee too.
And that makes no sense.
Yeah. So my number 3, and I know the guy got butt hurt pretty bad because he feels he should be in, and he's missed out. He's told the voters to not even vote for him anymore, which I still don't think. I have a feeling that if he got in, he would still take the nomination. I don't think he would be that upset. But Kurt Schilling, another guy with MVP, Cy Young, championship rings, the bloody sock game, fictional or not, depending on who you talk to. One of the pitchers that, if I needed a win, he would be hard to keep off my list. So you're number 2.
Okay, I've got it. I've got it figured out now. I've got my number 2 and my number 1.
All
right. And this one blows my mind when I see this name and it's not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I like how you went with Kurt Schilling, but how is Oral Hershiser not in the Hall of Fame? That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. When I saw, and I just looked it up, I'm going, players not in the Hall of Fame, and Oral Hershiser just kind of smacks you in the face. And it's going, you kind of go, okay, that kind of sucks. considering what he's done for the Dodgers organization, what he's done in postseason, what he's done just in general in the regular season. How is that man not in the in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that one. That or Hershey should be in the Hall of Fame. My number 2 is another Bulldog when it comes to postseason games, and for a while they're one of the most dominant pitchers, late '80s, early '90s. Roger Clemens, which I know he's going to be held out because of all the PD use and all that is proclaimed on him. So you're number 1.
My number 1. This is a guy who, and I should have really paid attention to it. I will tell you who I've had on my list, and then I'll tell you my 1. I had Jack Morris in. Didn't realize he was in. Edgar Martinez in. Didn't realize he was in. Alan Trammell in. Didn't realize he was in. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't realize he was in.
Oh, the only guy to get 100% of the votes.
Right.
No,
didn't realize
he didn't.
No, that was A-Rod. Or not A-Rod, but Jeter. No, that's wrong too. That's Mariano Rivera.
Yeah. 1 vote away. How do you not vote Griffey 100%?
Yeah. Him and Jeter. How are those both guys not unanimous?
Yeah.
And my number 1 that I had winning the same year as Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Okay. Now the guy, they actually made a movie about this.
Okay.
And it was about the Black Sox. The White Sox back in the I want to say back in the day. And the man is guilt by association.
Yeah.
When you understand that probably the best player of the early years of baseball is not in the Hall of Fame because he was lumped in with the Chicago White Sox.
Yep.
And you look at it and you go, when you realize that Shoeless Joe Jackson is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
It's an absolute travesty. It ranks right up there with Pete Rose not being in.
Yep, because and the thing is, like you said, he's lumped into that group, and he didn't do anything wrong from everything I've been reading about him and know about him. So no, I like that one. I did. I kind of forgot about that, but for me, no, I think it's going to turn into the big Pete Rose debate because I don't think he'll get in anytime soon. Even though he did not test positive for PEDs or steroids, even though we all are probably convinced that he did take some. But the home run leader, Barry Bonds, I mean, for what he did prior to going to San Francisco, he was on Hall of Fame pace.
Yeah, he was.
And the thing is the debate is, okay, yeah, steroids are illegal. We get that. But they didn't make you a better hitter. He was already a good hitter.
Yeah, he was.
He might have turned some of his deep fly balls out into short home runs. He turned some of his home runs into no doubters. I get that, but you still have to be able to hit a fastball. You still have to be able to hit a curveball. So I think the Barry Bonds debate will be the new Pete Rose debate for years to come. So, all right. So that kind of probably one of the first categories, that we didn't have any matches.
That's because I screwed up. I screwed up.
Yeah, so
I wasn't putting any PED guys on. For me personally, I try to stay away from it because I could have been there. I could have done top 10 lists at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't put anybody that I know that got suspended because of that. So, and being that Barry Bonds, I mean, Sammy Sosa, yeah, we could have thrown in there. McGuire, yeah, we might have to do one of those type of shows, but let's go to top 5 players that we are going to watch in 2023. So who is your number 5? Hopefully he's playing.
Oh, he's playing. I know he's playing. Fernando Tatis Jr. That kid is a stud. That kid is a bona fide stud. I'm going to tell you, he's better than his dad ever was. Because Fernando Tatis was a good player, but Junior's working his way into being a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
I truthfully think you build a team around him, and you put the money in the wrong person with Machado. You put the money in the wrong, but Machado's a prima donna. We know that. He's 30-some years old and wanted $80 million a year. It just is. But the range that Tatis has in the outfield, the batting, the eye that he's got, I'm going to say this now. He's what Barry Bonds was before the PEDs.
I like that comparison. I like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Padres do with him. So, my number 5 guy, because I actually took a guy off my list because I'll talk about him later. He's going to a new team. He's going from the Cubs to the Cardinals to fill a void at catcher that was left behind by Molina. And he's going to get a lot of comparisons early off in the year, and that's Wilson Contreras. I think we're going to see a lot of comparisons, especially if the Cardinals struggle on him calling games and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what Contreras does. What's that?
Contreras calls really good games. He called really good games when he was with the White Sox.
Yeah.
He called really good games. It's just the fact is you got to have the pitching staff to go with it.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see. You're number 4.
This is kind of my second team. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I got to see more of this team than I did the Brewers. And it's Wander Franco, the shortstop from the Tampa Bay Rays. This, I'm not going to put him on par as being up there with Derek Jeter. But this kid is like a wall. He's like a wall with a bat. He knows he plays so well. He's so quick. And his mentality for baseball is way high, and that's why Willie Adames went from the Rays to the Brewers, was because they were bringing up Franco from minor leagues.
No, and Franco's and Tampa did it right. I mean, granted, everybody ripped their contract because he only played a half a year and they paid him. It's like, well, they think they got him. I mean, you might as well sign him to a contract now instead of
he's
the
a
way
stud.
money's going.
That kid's a stud.
Yeah, no, I like that one. Number 5 player or 4 player for me. A lot of injury questions, but the thing is if he's healthy, he's probably one of the best outfielders in the game. He started off his career hot, but then injuries plagued him. And depending on where the Angels are, winning or not, if he's healthy, he possibly could be one of those traded at the deadline, and that's Mike Trout. I think Trout's going to be a key one to watch, along with his teammate there, Ohtani, depending on what the Angels are going to do to come trade deadline. Now, I'm sorry, James. I know you're a big Angel fan, but they're not in the playoff hunt. They're going to be making moves, which would make sense for them. So you're number 3.
You know this guy quite well. My
All
number
right.
3. And that was so nice when they brought him up last year, I want to say. Now I've got you thinking, because he's a twin.
Okay.
And he's your third baseman. Jose
Okay.
Miranda.
Oh.
Miranda, that kid is something else. The numbers that I've seen from him,
Yep.
and he's really going to get the opportunity to play full time.
Yep.
If he gets the opportunity to play full time, this kid's going to be an all-star.
He's going to probably platoon around third. Might get a few cracks at first. Because
if they can keep his bat in the lineup,
Yep.
I think the Twins have a bona fide star.
Yep. No, I definitely I like that. Saw him a couple times down in AAA. So yeah, no, you're right there. If they can keep him up with the big club and in that lineup, he could possibly be a force to be reckoned with. I like that. My number 3 is another guy that changed teams. Let's see what he can do in Philly. And that's Trey Turner. Going from the Dodgers to Philly. I think Philly coming off good season. Dodgers, always are in the thick of things. So we'll see how Turner can adjust into that lineup. Your number 2.
My number 2 is a son of his dad was everything, and I'm not going Bo Bichette. Because I remember Bo Bichette. I'm not going Bo Bichette because I remember Dante being in Milwaukee and getting to see his dad play. But I'm going with the other Blue Jay. I'm going with Vladimir Guerrero, Vladdy Jr.
Yep.
That kid does things that his dad did and does them better. Didn't he hit a home run off his knees?
I don't know if he did.
A year or two ago.
Oh, when he overswung and he dropped to his knees, and yeah. But his dad's also hit a home run when the ball bounced in front of home plate.
Right. So. Yeah, and the fact is, both of them, they have such a love for the game, and they have so much fun. I loved watching his dad play, and I've gotten to the point where he's so much like his dad that I love watching him play too. It's just they're just absolute fun to watch. I could sit there and watch Blue Jay games until the sun comes down.
Yeah, they got a nice little core there with Bichette, Glad, Biggio, I think.
Yeah,
his son's there, and I want to say there's a 4th kid there. I could be wrong on that, maybe but they got.
I've been wrong. I've been wrong half the show already. So
yeah, but they could. They got a nice young talent there. I like the Blue Jays. So and Glad is the favorite to win MVP, I think.
Yeah.
We're at number 2. So my number 2 is your number 5. Tatis Jr. coming off the injury, coming off the suspension or whatever. Let's see what the Padres could do with them. I think they're moving them into left or right field because they got a plethora of shortstops and third basemen, but I can see them playing DH a little bit, even though they got Cruz, I think, now. But that Padre lineup is going to be scary.
Yeah, that's stacked. That Padre
lineup is going to be a scary lineup, which again we'll cover more of them.
We're not talking to Callan.
So
we're not talking to Callan about this.
Yeah. Callan should be excited.
Yeah.
So, number 1.
Our number 1 might actually be the same.
Okay.
After what he did to the Yankee record book last year, I don't care if he broke the AL record. No, he broke Roger Maris's record. You broke the hallowed record in the Yankees organization.
Yep.
It's like when you break a record of a man whose hair was falling out because he was afraid that he was passing Babe Ruth. But Aaron Judge, to me, to be honest, he reminds me of Barry Bonds on PED, but he's clean,
as we know of. But yeah,
as we've been told.
Yeah.
But he's another one. It's just fun to watch. It's another one. If the Yankees can keep him healthy and keep him in the lineup, I don't care if he's playing first. I don't care if he's playing wherever he wants to play. He wants to play behind the plate. Let him play behind the plate. I don't care. Or he DHs. Keep his bat in the lineup. The Yankees are scary.
Yeah, definitely. No, and that is my number 1. Can he repeat anything to what he did last year? And if he does, if he keeps out the pace that he is, he's going to be the next 700 home run hitter. So,
yep.
If he stays healthy, and that's the key. And he's 6'7" playing center field. I mean, that's your first baseman. I mean, that's your tight end in football. I mean,
think about that. That's Randy Johnson playing outfield.
Yeah. with a little more meat on him than Randy
Yeah.
Johnson. But to be able to plug him in as your leadoff hitter some games, and I mean, granted, you can plug in anybody as your leadoff hitter, but
Right.
6'7" playing center field, definitely mind blowing. So, all right. So let's go. Okay, so we covered that one. Why don't we move right into pitchers? Top 5 pitchers to watch out for in 2023.
I went a little homer.
Okay, that's okay.
So my number 5 is Brandon Woodruff.
Okay.
The guy, all 5 of my guys are guys who could win the Cy Young.
Okay.
Easily could win the Cy Young, and I believe a couple have.
Yep, I got possibly the same group that could win Cy Young. So let's go.
But Brandon Woodruff, this guy is the number 2 pitcher in Milwaukee, but yet I think last year he led the league in National League in strikeouts. He's always in the top 5 of just about any pitching stats out there. And if it weren't for the number 1 pitcher, I truthfully think he wins the Cy Young soon.
Okay. No, that's definitely a good one. My number 5, I'm going homer on this one because he's coming off a big injury. We traded a couple years for him. I think we traded for him pre-COVID, and I think he finished the season 2nd or 3rd in the Cy Young. But if he comes back healthy, he's definitely a number 1 or solid number 2 on most teams. That's Kente Maeda. I think he's definitely going to have to be healthy, and being that I'm a Twins fan and he's here, I'm definitely going to watch and see how they use him, how effective he is. Because this rotation the Twins have could be, possibly talk about it a little bit later. So, you're number 4.
I'm going with last year's Cy Young Award winner in the National League, Sandy Alcantara.
Yep, from
the Marlins.
Marlins, yep.
Yep. The kid's young.
Yep.
And if the Marlins don't do what they normally do and blow up their team every 5 years, I think he could be a great anchor to. I think he'd be a great number 1 on. He's going to be a great number 1 on most staffs.
Oh,
but he could really push that NL East in such a huge. What you're going to tell me he wasn't the Cy Young Award?
No, he is. I was just.
Okay.
I believe he's very young.
I think he's only 22, 23.
Yeah.
He's not young. I think he's only been in the league 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But the kid's got an arm. This kid's got such an arm, and the funny thing is, I happened to turn on the Rays Marlins game this morning to watch, and it was right after they had pulled Alcantara out of the game for the Marlins, and I'm like, well, there's that. But this kid could easily have multiple Cy Young Award years, multiple.
No, and I think he's the favorite, but yeah, I was trying to look to see how old the kid is, and I'm pretty sure, he's in his early 20s. But he's definitely one to watch. I do like the he was born in 95, debuted in 2017.
Makes him 28. That can't be right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it makes him 28.
Yeah, so, but,
Still,
he'll be a good anchor there. I mean, he's healthy, My number 4 is at one time, a pitcher I would have loved to have seen in a Twins uniform. He's going back to KC, so we will be seeing him quite a bit. And that's Zach Greinke. I just, after there's a couple comments that he made when he was a free agent the first time, just like, yeah, you can take your ego and go. When he went to Milwaukee, he's went to
He went to
the Dodgers,
Dodgers.
and then he pitched. I'm trying to think where he pitched last year. Now he's going back to KC. I saw a couple of highlights of him. His fastball's up there, and then he followed it up with the Ephus pitch.
He's got a dirty pitch. He's got.
And the thing is he is now got that belt pitch call that relates to the catcher. And he's calling his pitches. So, and that's going to be another thing too to see. But Cranky going back to KC probably for his last hurrah.
I think he's going to be there for. I think this is going to be his last year, and I think he's done.
Yeah. So, all right, you're number 3.
You brought him up in the player. You kind of brought him up in the players to watch with Trout, and that's Shohei Ohtani. I'm sorry, this kid. It's just fun to watch. I'm like, okay, this guy plays position, and then he pitches.
Yeah.
To me, I think he'd be on number 1 on most lists if it weren't for number 1 and number 2.
Well, I can't wait to hear who you have at number 1, number 2.
And the thing is, and I'm not before somebody takes this out of context, I'm not calling him Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth pitched and hit, and he does both of these quite well.
Yeah, Babe Ruth didn't do it as well as he did because Babe Ruth hit and then went to pitch, right? And then went pitch and then
He was a pitcher when he was with Baltimore, and when he had his contract bought by the Yankees, they made him a outfielder, I believe.
I don't know those two, but he did not do it at the same time.
No, and they probably should have. He probably should have. Baltimore would have never. Baltimore would have had a couple more World Series.
Yeah. All right, for me, number 3, another guy coming off injury, and I've stated before on other shows, I think this guy should go kind of sit in the bullpen for a little bit and kind of get his arm back into shape. Yeah, I don't like the team he's on, and I wish he would sign somewhere else, but Clayton Kershaw, I think, is going to be one to watch coming off, again, another injury-filled season, postseason struggles. But when he's healthy, he's definitely one to watch. So you're number 2.
My number 2, I was so happy when he left the Pirates. I think he left the Pirates 2 years ago.
Okay.
Because that meant we saw him 20 times. We saw the Pirates 20 times. Yep. We saw him, I think, on an average 4 times a year.
Okay.
And the kid is lights out, and I'm so glad he went to the American League. And that's Garrett Cole.
Oh, okay.
Garrett Cole, to me, I was when he was coming out, during his friend, much like you were with Greinke. Yep. When he was doing free agency, I was so hoping that he'd come to Milwaukee just so he could slap the face of the Pirates. Oh, yeah. Because we already have arguably probably one of the best pitching staffs in the majors. Yep. And then you put Garrett Cole in with the group that we've got. You got number 1 through 5, and it's scary.
Yep.
And then he went to the Yankees, and that tells me he was going for money, and Milwaukee doesn't have money.
Yep. My number 3.
2.
I'm sorry, you're right. Possibly right now does not sound like he's going to make a start. And if he makes a start, it's going to be late in the season, it sounds like. But that's Jacob deGrom. The guy's a Cy Young candidate every year. But the thing is he only pitches 10 to 12 games every year since 2019. So,
yep.
But the guy, he's another one too that I said, just go to the bullpen, be a spot starter.
Exactly.
Go pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning if needed. Kind of do what John Smoltz did. Go in the bullpen for a little bit, be a closer, come back out, and rocket fire. Because But that's just me. I'm not, that's why I'm sitting here talking instead of being part of a Major League Ball club.
Well, that was the thing is when I remember with DeGrom was with the Mets. I think is he still with the Mets?
No, he's with Texas this year.
Oh well, Bacon will like that.
Yep.
But because there was always because Syndergaard with the Mets always was hurt too, and I never understood why they didn't put DeGrom and Syndergaard, make them pitch long relief.
Yep, every couple days. Yeah,
but you're only putting spot reliefs out there. You're only going to tax his arm for 2-3 innings, and then
make it a bullpen session.
Make him get it back in the thing. Yep. I think that was the problem with the Mets. They tried too hard to push both of them to get back into where they were the number one, number two.
Yep. No, exactly right. All right, so you're number one.
Again, homer pick.
Okay.
And then again, Cy Young homer pick.
Okay.
And it's Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns, everybody's another one that they consider is going to be another favorite for the Cy Young in the NL again. He's been in the running for the Cy Young now for 4 or 5 years. Won it, and it's just scary. And that's your number one pitcher on your staff. And the funny thing is, you look at fantasy baseball and you look at Corbin Burns as the number one guy that's number one pitcher in most leagues.
Yeah,
and he's just scary.
Nope. Yeah, my number one, your number three, Shohei Ohtani. Because again, if he's pitching lights out and hitting, and the Angels ain't doing nothing, you can get a heck of a package deal.
He's on his last year of his contract.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. Too. So
I think are they both of them? Is Trout?
I don't know if Trout is, but just think of the deal that if Trout's healthy and Ohtani's healthy, but the Eagles are struggling. If you wanted to really throw the farm at somebody to get two guys, and then hopefully re-sign Ohtani. Man, Angels could be looking at a big payday, or hopefully that they're in it and they don't have to, they can sign Ohtani and keep Trout around. But yeah, Ohtani is my number one. So let's get into our teams. I know we got 3 topics left, but I want to save best moments for last. So you're a Brewers fan, so which I am not. So I should say I'm not a Brewers fan. I like them. I mean,
we had a rivalry
national team, I guess.
we were a rivalry while we were still in the American League.
Yeah, but that stadium's nice. I gotta admit, I like making that trip. So, all right. So your number 5 way for the Brewers to be better in 2013 or 2023. God, man.
2013, we need a lot of help. We need a time machine with this team. We need to cut down on the strikeouts.
Okay.
Milwaukee has this tendency to every time they're going up to try to kill the ball. In football they always say you run the ball to set up the pass.
Yep.
So my theory in baseball is you play small ball to set up the long ball.
Yep.
And that's the problem. I think we had such a huge lead. I think it was last year that we had such a huge lead and we gave it away because we played we strike out in the most inopportune times. And it's like you strike out with a man on second and on men in scoring position and you just give it away.
Yep. No, for me, I feel that the Brewers' number 5 issue, for them to be better, is just have a solid day, everyday lineup. I mean, I know a lot of teams, do a lot of off days, but pitching, get that solid pitching, get that solid lineup in there, and not, throw it away towards the end of the year or come around at the end of the year and miss the playoffs or something.
Right.
So you're number 4.
I kind of hinted to him earlier when we were talking about Wander Franco for the Rays. They need to sign Willy Adames. I think Willy Adames is such a key, and everybody who's a Brewer fan is going, but what about Christian Yelich? Christian Yelich is on the downside of his career. We're talking at this point. We need to start thinking about the young guy, and we need to think about Adames. I think we need to really focus on keeping him here. We keep him happy. He wants to stay in Milwaukee. I think the sooner we get that extension done, I think he's going to be. You're going to watch him more free swinging for freewheeling Adames.
Okay. Not like that. I'm going to kind of say that we kind of hit on this one together. And maybe you have it later, but I think you need a good mix of the young talent with the veterans. The vets show them Brewer baseball, and the young guys come in and accept that, but yet still produce their game. So I think the Brewers definitely need that. And yes, somebody can comment and say, well, all teams need that. You're right, but some teams could do it with a whole bunch of veterans, and so Brewers might have to go 50-50 on this one. So
right,
you're number 3.
My number 3. We got this kid who's a relief pitcher, Jake Cousins, a young kid. And we traded away Josh Hader last year in such a
shocked everybody,
including I think the front office, that we would do something as stupid. But we've got a great. But here's the thing: is we didn't lose out. We had Devin Williams as the setup guy. Now we just need Jake Cousins to do what we all know he can do, and that's step up, pitch like we know he can, and take up the setup role that Williams had.
Nope, definitely like that. My number 3, he might be on the backside of his career, but you need Yelich to be a leader. Needs to be a leader, needs to perform at his MVP level that he did when he got the award. I just think his leadership and his ability has to be there for them to succeed. Number 2.
My number 2 is your number 3. To me, Yelich has to get back up to MVP form. If not MVP form, but he needs to get back to MVP. I know he's been hurt a lot the last couple seasons, and that's really hurt the team, and that's really hurt the like you said, the veteran leadership, because we do have a young team. But we've got players that know how to step up. But Yelich needs to get back to where he was when he first came to Milwaukee. The first couple of years he was in Milwaukee, where he was healthy and putting the team back on his back. I think you hit it right on the head when you brought it up on 3, and I was just kind of shocked that I had it at 2.
My number 2, I believe he's your first baseman.
Rowdy Tellez.
Yes.
Love that kid. I love that kid.
He needs to keep improving. He needs to turn himself into Yelich and be the leader. Kid's got some power. Looked at his stats a little bit. And again, we probably say it about 90% of the time, stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
So you're number 1.
I love Rowdy Tellez. To me, I think Rowdy Tellez is going to be a superstar in this league as long as he keeps his head in the game. Milwaukee. That's the thing. My number 1. We might have the pitching staff, but when your offense that just kind of fades away in the later parts of the season, even if you're healthy, what's killed us in the last 2 seasons in playoffs? No offense.
Yep.
And the off, and you're expecting your pitching and your bullpen to do all the work, but eventually, again, it's a lot of the NFL and the football. Your defense can only do so much, and eventually the defense is just going to give away. And that's the problem with the Milwaukee Brewers, is the fact is they don't play enough offense. They don't play the right offense. They're trying too much for the big stuff, and when small ball wins you championships.
Yep. For me, my number 1 for the Brewers, pitcher needs a little bit of a bounce back here. I don't know how far. But kind of when I was researching, this was one name that came up, and that's just Jesse Winker.
Jesse Winker, yeah.
Yeah, they said that he needs to have a bounce back year. So it's like, okay, so with that pitching staff, let's get the bounce back going. So let's see what we can do. So, all right, we touched on your team. Let's go across the border here. Let's talk about the Twins. Be kind of interesting to see what a non-Twins fan thinks. Probably kind of, with the Brewers, kind of think what the Brewers need. So, for you, number 5, what does Twins need to do to be a better team this year?
I think they need. I think where you hit it. I think with my 5 is they needed leadership, strong leadership. I think. But that's again. I think, like you said, every team could benefit from stronger leadership. You've got, to be honest, you guys got Carlos Correa. You guys got him back, which I hope that doesn't hurt you guys in the long run, to be honest. But you've got a guy who's been to the World Series. You got a guy who's you guys got a lot. You guys got a lot there. You still have Sano, right? No. Where'd he go?
Thank God.
Thank God. Okay, well then, good thing I don't have him on this list because I would have. You guys have, but the thing is, you guys have a lot of youth.
Yep.
And and they need to really, and your youth has to really tap into Correa and into your pitching staff. Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan. I was going to say Joe Nathan. That would have been wrong. But you got to have the young guys really tap in to guys who have been around the league. And how to get themselves ready, because you guys have potential.
Yep.
And you guys have a lot of potential in the AL Central, because that one, I'm not on the Guardians bandwagon. I truthfully think the Central's wide open.
Yeah, no, you're right there. And for me, number 5, and I'm going to touch on this twice in this category, but one is the team health. Overall, the team needs to be healthy. We hit a lot of patches, had a lot of call-ups, a lot of people sent down, a lot of people on the injured list. And I think that's one reason why we brought Correa back, is because our top 2 shortstop prospects have been hurt. So they want to make sure they're healthy. And Correa has, some injuries, but again, they brought him back, I think, because they got to, and he'd be penciled in at shortstop every day. So overall team health. You're number 4.
I went when you brought up Maeda. When you brought up Maeda in the earlier part about pitching, I think it was your pitchers.
Yep.
It really made me think, and I was kind of shocked that you, not kind of shocked, but it was kind of fed into this, where you guys got 4 really good pitchers. 4 really good pitchers. And the thing is, they need to play to their potential. Yep. Sonny Gray, Ryan, Maul, Maeda. I'm like, you guys got great. If you guys can get a 5th one, but you guys really don't need a 5th one. You can fluff off a 5th game. But honestly, you guys got such a good pitching staff. You guys play to its potential. You guys win the Central going away.
Yep. My number 4, if the team's in the playoff hunt, they got to make a solid move. They got to get that workhorse starter. They got to go out and get that legit power hitter, and, I'm not saying go out, if the Angels are struggling, go get Ohtani and Trout, because we're not going to sign Ohtani. So, I'd hate to factor the farm to, get 2 guys that's going to most likely be a rental player, but, maybe somebody that's under contract that's struggling somewhere else. But, yeah, definitely in the playoff picture, make some solid moves. So, you're number 3.
My number 3, Minnesota Twins should do what the Minnesota Vikings do. Play better in 1-run games.
Yeah.
because you guys were 20 and 28 in one-run games. The last couple times you guys were in the playoffs, you guys had an above 500 record in 1-run games.
Yep.
I don't know what you guys. It's the Milwaukee thing too. It's you guys strike out with runners in scoring position. Your pitching falls off. It's It's strange, but I think any team can say that. But yeah, you guys. When I saw you guys were 20-28 in one-run games last year, I went, "Oh, you guys
Yeah.
can't. You guys don't make
Yep.
playoffs that way."
Yep, exactly. You're right. My number 3, we need to find a legit power hitter. We can't rely on Buxton to be that guy because he's not. I mean, yeah, he's got the pop in the bat, but you need Kepler, you need Miranda, you need Kirilloff, you need um, Joey Gallo. You need somebody to step up and be that solid cleanup hitter in the lineup that could drive in runs and pop one over the fence. So that's definitely something they need to do. Your number 3 or 2.
My number 2, build on your youth. You guys have a nice young team. You guys got a young nucleus. Build on that. If you have to bring in another veteran to really teach Kirilloff, Royce Lewis, Lomack, Miranda, Lee, bring them in, build on that because you guys become a team of you guys will become a team that's built on the right fundamentals and how to move forward. I think you guys have a great young nucleus. I think you just need to just get another veteran presence in there because Correa, Buxton, you gotta move forward with what you've got.
No, I like that a lot. My number 2, I'm going to tie it into your number 4 a little bit. We need a solid pitching staff. We need 3 solid starters. 4 or 5 can be average. That bullpen definitely needs to be rock solid. You need that shutdown closer. But yeah, it starts with the starting staff, and they got to go 6 solid innings, night in, night out. Seventh inning here or there. But the less you use your bullpen, longer off you are. Yes, there's going to be games where your starter is going to get smashed in 2 innings. So it happens every year. It does. So you're number 1 for Twins being better.
My number 1 was your number 5. You got to stay healthy. I looked at the number of pitchers you guys had starting a game last year, and it was 33.
Yeah, something like that.
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's you can't win, and you guys were in the hunt for pretty much most of the year, and you had with 33 pitchers. You don't keep anybody healthy, and that hurts. That hurts a team, especially if you're making a playoff run. Yeah, you could have traded to bring in somebody to make that playoff push, like what your number 3 was.
Yep.
You really can. You really have to. And yeah, I think every team out there would love their number 1 to only be it would be their number 1 and they're only worried. But yeah, you guys got to stay healthy.
Yeah. My number 1, Buxton has to be healthy. I mean, that's your patroller in center field. I mean, we made that trade with Kansas City to bring in their young center fielder. So that could put Buxton at DH. You still have a solid outfield. But yeah, Buxton has to be healthy because if I recall, I think I saw something where Buxton plays 70% of the time the Twins win. So let's just do simple math. If Buxton plays 100 games, that's 70 wins.
Yeah.
So that means out of the other 62 games, you go 500, you should be in the playoffs.
Easily.
Yeah. So that's just simple math. But yeah, Buxton being healthy, being a leadoff guy or number 2 guy, number 3 guy in the lineup, Twins definitely need him healthy. All right. So let's get into our top 5 moments of 2022. So I'm kind of interested to see what way you went on some of these. I'd say right now, if I'm a betting guy, we have 1 correct together.
One the same?
Maybe 2, but I'll say 1 to be on the safe side. So, all right, you're number 5.
All right.
2022.
As much as I don't like the Cleveland Guardians, my number 5 is Bo Naylor and Josh Naylor being the first set of brothers to start a game in the same season since 2001, I want to say. No, I have it written down here. No, I don't have it written down here. But I do know who the brothers were.
Yeah.
and it's Sandy and Roberto Alomar.
Oh, I like that. Like that. For me, my number 5, and I believe the kid was 22 last year, threw a no-hitter versus Tampa Bay. Reed Detmer. So, only pitched a few games in the bigs and gets that early season no-hitter.
He pitched, what was it, like 3 or 4 games he had pitched at that point?
Something like that. It was
Yeah.
a short career. So, to be able to get that.
Yeah.
So, your number 4 moment.
And I'm not a Cardinals fan, but Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright breaking the most starts by a battery in Major League history.
Yep.
I have so much respect for those two, and it's so nice that they're gone. It is so nice that they're gone.
Where it's not gone.
I don't care. He's gone because he doesn't have Yadier. The guy, Yadier Molina had, what was he, for the longest time he batted below the Mendoza line, but yet
but they kept him because of his defense.
But he was always there for his defense and calling a game.
Yeah. All right, my number 4. Speaking of the Guardians, because I think they won this game, but I can't remember who they played. I forgot to write it down. But it was the 15-inning ALDS walk-off game, 1-0. When 15 innings, Guardians won that this past season. So
I can't remember who they played either.
Yeah, somebody I forgot to write it down. So you're number 3.
See, I don't mind the Marlins, so I'm going to bring up Marlins. But this is a thing that one guy will never ever have to do, and it happened once. Last time it happened was in 1988. Was that Marlins pitcher Richard Blyer was called for 3 balks in the same inning, in the 8th inning, and then proceeded to get ejected in the 8th inning for arguing balks.
Yep. No, I've seen that clip come up, and I watch it every time, and I just laugh because it's just like I mean personally, I don't see where the block was.
I don't either.
Yeah. So it was the Rays. So the Rays made my list twice.
Jeez.
So, all right. So my number 3, we alluded to it earlier. Judges American League / Joe DiMaggio's home runs record. Definitely I'm not a Yankees fan, but records are meant to be broken and something like that. Yeah, you don't want to see it broke by a guy or a team that you don't like, but it's still a moment there. So you're number 2.
Why you come before you always go right before me when I have to say it. My number 2 is your number 3.
Okay.
And it's Aaron Judge's breaking the Yankees home run record. Again, I think this one I get it. I liked it. I'm not a Yankees fan. I've become an Aaron Judge fan.
Yep, I have too. There's one moment that made me an Aaron Judge fan.
To me, when it was during the I want to say it was the home run derby.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, he'd be a superhero if he was playing for Kansas City. He'd be a superhero no matter where he played, except the fact is he plays for the Yankees, and for all of us who aren't Yankees fans, he's Darth Vader.
Yep.
But I like it. He just does it the right way, and he's having fun doing it. That's what makes me respect Aaron Judge more than the fact is he's a Yankee. I think it's the fact is I'm more of an Aaron Judge fan than I'm a Yankee fan.
No, Aaron Judge, for me, the moment that I started liking him was this past season, Toronto, I think it was. The kid caught one of his home runs late in the season or was had a Judge jersey on, and some fan gave him the ball. Made the kids his dream. Kid started crying, being happy. And Judge met him after the game and signed the ball and stuff and told him to keep it, and stuff like that. So
I think that was 61, wasn't it?
It was either 60 or 61, I think it was. Because Judge made the comment that ball meant more to him than more to the kid than it meant to him. So
Yeah.
props to
Yeah,
him.
it was 61.
So my number 3 moment or 2 moment is that moment last home game for the Cardinals when all the big three, Pujols, Wainwright, and Yachty walked off together. And I think it's a tradition that started with the Yankees.
Yeah.
But to give respect to those 3 guys in that uniform, that's why I wish Wainwright would have retired at the same time, because all 3 of them
I
would
did
have
too.
the Hall of Fame in the same year. But that moment right there kind of teared me up a little bit. So you're number 1.
Well, it was kind of nice how you alluded to it for me. Except I didn't go with I gave Wainwright and Yadier they're walking the sun and number 4. But again, the guy who's done it the right way did it at home. And the fact is that he's from the St. Louis area. I think he played high school baseball in St. Louis. And that's Albert Pujols joining the 700 home run club and the 2200.
I had that moment on there.
When I heard that, when it happened to me, I couldn't have been happier, because he's such a great guy. He was such a great ambassador, international ambassador for baseball. To me, I have the utmost respect for those 3 Cardinals. As much as I hate the Cardinals, I was so glad when he came back to the Cardinals to get his farewell tour in St. Louis in front of fans that have been watching him since high school. To me, I thought it was an amazing club, and to join the same club in the same year, the 2 clubs in the same year, and those clubs are very, very. There aren't that many people in those clubs, because I think the 700 club is Bonds, Ruth, and
Aaron
in the 700. And
I think so.
And in the 2200 RBI club, it's just Aaron and Ruth.
Yeah.
And to have somebody as prevalent in our time watching baseball as Pujols to do the same thing, and I think he did it in less time.
Possibly.
And to stay healthy for the majority of his career that he did. And it's
not
it's
to be linked
amazing.
to PhDs.
Yeah, and it's to him, it's a testament to what Albert Pujols is, and it's going to be a great day when he goes in. Him and Yachty are going to go in at the same time, and
They got to. They have to.
if they screw that up,
The only way I can see those 2 not going in the same year is if Wainwright retires this year and they put them all in together.
That would be stupid.
They got to wait 5 years.
Right, it's 5 years. But to me, I think Pujols is going to be one of those that could get to the Mariano line. If he doesn't get the Mariano line, if they don't get the Mariano line, you need to start rethinking. They need to start rethinking how to vote.
Well, they do need to think that. So my number 1 moment, and it's kind of, I gotta go say personal moment, but it was kind of cool to know somebody that got to make it to the show, and as a public address announcer and listening to him on his pages and some of the clips that he sends us. And if I was off that day, the night before, and liked to fly, I would have been out there in the cheap seats.
I'd have loved to have been there. I would have been there with the bells on.
And it's our fellow colleague from another network. He jumps on once in a while with us, but he's busy doing play-by-play for a lot of sports. And that's Colin. Colin McClure, first MLB game. He got it through the connections he's known, because the top 2 play-by-play guys or public address announcers had something going on. So thank God for soccer for one, because Colin got to live his dream. And for me, knowing of Colin, haven't met him yet, but being an acquaintance of his, it's an honor for me to know that I know somebody that is living their dream and got to call a big league game. So that's my number 1 moment.
I'll admit, when I heard because I think when on his posts,
Yep.
I had a tear in the eye because
Yep.
it was because somebody we knew. It was somebody,
Yep.
and it's huge, especially with the Angels organization. It was the Angels organization.
Yeah, it was Angels versus
It wasn't the Brewers. Believe me, I know.
no, I can't remember who it was, but
Was it Angels Padre? No, it wasn't Padres.
no, it wasn't Padres. No.
I know James was. I think James was at. I think James.
Yeah, I
might have
think
been
James was at a lot of guys that we know tried to go there. James for sure went there, but
Yeah.
but definitely big props to him.
Yep.
So well, we're at that hour mark. We kind of teased. Well, Tim, do you want to do a quick 5 movies? We'll do a little extra.
Let's go ahead.
We'll do.
I had to write them down.
We'll do quick top 5 baseball movies. So Tim, your number 5 baseball movie.
The Rookie. As much as I hate the Cubs, yeah, was it
Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year, yeah, Cubs. Hate the Cubs, but love the movie. It was fun. It's a great kids movie.
Yep.
To me, I think any kid who loves baseball should watch the movie. I think it's a fun movie.
And I will go with the movie, The Rookie itself. I mean, just yes, it's hard. Rookie of the Year. Granted, kid gets hurt. His tennis titans, likelihood of him becoming a major. That's a movie I wish they would kind of remake now with him growing up.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go with The Rookie itself with Jimmy Morris being a teacher, going to his team challenges him to go to tryouts. He throws faster than he did when he was younger, gets called by the Devil Rays, goes, plays minor league ball, moves up, gets the call, was told that another teammate was going to make it, and they wanted him to tell him because he was going with them, and got to make his debut in his hometown of Texas. So The Rookie. You're number 4.
The Sandlot.
Wow, that's low.
Oh wait, the other 3 are good. The other 3 are really good. But yeah, The Sandlot. It wasn't a movie I watched growing up, but the later on, the more and more I watch it, it just becomes like it becomes a staple. Yep. It's like one of those movies you have to watch to get ready for baseball season. Yep. I think it's a fun movie, and to see all those things. And what was it? Did you see that there was that meme of Mike Trout with the best power hitter in baseball, and the other guy is Mike Trout, and it's the catcher from The Sandlot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie to me.
All right, my number 4 movie is Moneyball. I think just the behind the scenes aspect of the analytics and how to build a team, and the conversations. We got to replace this guy, but we can't replace him money wise, so we got to make 2 players become him. And for that year for Oakland to go on that winning streak because of Moneyball, definitely a great movie. You're number 3.
To me, I love Bull Durham. Bull Durham to me it's every other one of these is either Little League or Major League Baseball, but to me, Bull Durham, it's just I know it's outlandish in some things, but to watch that movie, I love watching that movie. There's so many one-liners. There's just so many. It's just like a running joke from beginning to end. I think it was Major League before Major League. I think it's what made Major League become Major League to me. But between Tim Robbins and oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember his name.
Kevin Costner.
Thank you, Kevin Costner. Just the interaction those 2 guys had in the entire movie, to me, it reminds me a lot of Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen in Major League. But I love Bull Durham.
No, that's a good one. And I'm going to go on the other side, and you're probably going to have it earlier or in your next two. But another Cosner flick, um, Field of Dreams. I mean, what can you say? I mean, one of my bucket list items is to go visit that field. And the way they did it in 2021 is when they had the first Field of Dream game.
Where they come out of
Yeah.
I thought they did so
That
well.
was
That
phenomenal.
was
They
the
should have.
All-Star game, wasn't it?
No.
No.
It was it Yankees White Sox?
That's you're right. You're right.
And Cosner comes out first, and then, but anyways, the production they did, but Field of Dreams. What can you say? I mean,
Yeah.
the likelihood of somebody plowing down their field and making a baseball field because they're getting told in their dreams to go do this is ridiculous. Right. But all right, you're number two.
My number two, I alluded to at number three, and it's Major League. To me, and it's not the series. That's not the series Major League, but not the entirety of the series, but just the first one.
First was a classic.
The first one was Bull Durham, but they made it so much better
to
me, and to see everybody that was in that movie. But it was just fun. It was, and if somebody comes up and tells me, but that Major League isn't fun, they're not my friend. I can't trust them. And to have Bob Uecker pretty much ad lib all of his lines, and for a guy that's not even supposed to be in the movie, to me, it's just a feel good. It's just a feel good movie. It's just a fun movie.
Nope. My number two is your number four, and it kind of hits home to me more because I lived that where, I played baseball, played Little League, played high school, but going around and getting kids to play in the sandlot and just going to a little field and playing was awesome. I mean, there's days that we played 2-on-2 baseball. There's days that we played 9-on-9, 5-on-5. It was like whoever showed up, we're playing, So, Satellite kind of hits home a little bit more for me. So number two, but your number one, I'm kind of curious now where your number one's at.
I'm curious what your number one is. I figured. Oh wait, never mind. I think I may know. I think my number one is my number two is your number one. But The Natural. To me, I love The Natural. Robert Redford and Wonder Boy. I'm like, come on. And to me, that movie to me was I think this is my opinion, so people can shoot me for that. But I think when Redford made The Natural, I think it was considered. I think it was a love. It was like a love story for baseball. To me, I think it was a love letter to baseball, and I don't think words could have done it any better justice than what The Natural did.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. It's been a while since I've seen it, but you said it. My number one is your number two, and actually, I kind of like all three of them. I think Major League Back to the Mind was a little bit better than Major League Two, but
they ended up filming that in Minnesota.
Yep. But Major League
was filmed in Milwaukee, so I don't have too much of an argument there.
Yeah. Major League One classic. The comparison between that and Bull Durham, now thinking about it, it's like, man, that is kind of legit, But the one-liners, I mean, we could probably recite them all.
On
I would hate to sit with the movie with me, you, and J Mac watching that movie because I think we would just sit there and just say the line before it comes up. I mean, but I don't know what we could say. There's been talk that they wanted to do a fourth one with bringing the guys back, but I think the fourth one would just be too ridiculous right now and just not believable. So. But my number one is Major League. So with that being said, we went a little extra. Well, baseball, a little extra innings. We don't use the ghost runner, so we didn't use that. So,
Right.
but Tim, final thoughts.
This makes me excited. This makes me excited for baseball. This makes me it gets me ready. I'm looking forward to a good season. It makes me want to watch and see what the Brewers do now. The Twins and the Rays. I kind of adopted them as my second team, and it's interesting. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely going to be a good time. Baseball's right around the corner. Can't wait to get out there. Some bright, sunny days. Get some baseball action in. But with that being said, next week we'll most likely do birthdays that we kind of talked about a little bit. We don't know what kind of days we'll pick, but we'll do some March birthdays. But with that being said, keep checking us out. C2C got a lot of great shows tonight between the ropes. Hopefully I'm on Wednesdays. We got the In the Den with the Cougars. We did a bye week last week, so we'll definitely make it up this week. And then you guys can pencil it in, more or less pen it in. On Deck will premiere its 2023 show March 18th, a Saturday, noonish, maybe 11, but we're shooting for noon Central Time. So Tim, that'll be whatever your time, because Tim has
7.
7. So Tim signed another contract. He's getting more M&Ms. So he'll be premiering with us on Deck. So with that being said, check us out next week along with everything else going C2C. So have a good night.